The Academy of St. Martin in the Fields is the orchestra I've played the most concerts with in my entire life. I met the orchestra in 2001 for a recording of the Four Seasons, which is on DVD and on YouTube by now, I think. So that was the first time I met the orchestra. I had no idea what to expect. I came to the first rehearsal, and it was clear from the first note that we didn't need to rehearse. We actually knew, it felt like we knew each other for a very long time. It felt so natural to make music with them. We had so much fun doing the Four Seasons by Vivaldi that a year later I was invited to play a tour with Sir Neville Marriner and the orchestra in Spain with Beethoven's violin concerto. And that was when I met Sir Neville Marriner, who was one of the kindest persons I met in my life. He was very helpful through my career, through my early years, because he was always willing to help me with decisions. When I had a question about management, when I had questions about which repertoire to play, when I had questions about which CD company to go with, he was always there. He was always listening to me and always helping with his advice. And I followed his advice, I have to say, always 100%. Whatever he said, I would just do, because I had such trust in him. And we did the tour in 2002. He invited me for the 30th anniversary tour with the Academy in 2004 through Germany, where we played Beethoven and Sibelius violin concertos. That was the first time in my life that I joined an orchestra. I played Brahms' Fourth Symphony in the second half with the orchestra, which was a great experience. It was, I felt in the first concert when I did that I had absolutely no idea what I had to do. I felt that I was too loud, I was too soft, there was always something wrong. I became very shy while I played the first time in the orchestra. But through the week, I did it every evening, and I understood that the technique which is needed to play in an orchestra is completely different from what a soloist needs. And I learned a lot, and I learned how to follow actually a conductor and not just to lead the orchestra. But after this week, Sir Neville took me aside and he said that he had the feeling that I knew the orchestra so well, we get along so well, that he would ask me to lead the orchestra in a tour without him, which happened the first time in January 2006. We had Shostakovich 8th string quartet, so the string symphony, on the program, and it was a big challenge for me. It was probably the biggest challenge that I had to face through my professional career, to lead a rehearsal. I remember that in the first rehearsal I was very insecure. I didn't really know how to react, was I supposed to do chamber music? Was I supposed to be like a conductor? By the way, I'm very bad with conducting. I even took some lessons with Jakob Kreutzberg, conducting lessons, so that I would understand what actually a conductor is supposed to do. But I was not very gifted with that, so I gave up after a couple of lessons. And the orchestra was so wonderful with me. After the first rehearsal, the musicians came to me and they just gave me feedback. They told me what I did good, what I did not so good, where I should change also how I speak, how I act, what I expect, that I could be more strict, that I should be less strict. So I got a lot of feedback, and through this week in 2006, I actually learned how to lead an orchestra. And this experience was most important for the rest of my career, because even when I have a conductor now, there are moments when I play with an orchestra where the communication between me and an orchestra member is more direct without the conductor. So when I have, for example, a melody to play which is accompanied by the oboe or bassoon or the cello section, I learned that it's much easier and much more natural when I lead the cello section and I don't have to go through the conductor. And so with this experience with the Academy, from that time, I changed my work with orchestras in general. After the tour, we repeated tours actually every second season. So I lead the Academy every other season in programs, and so this time we have a very big tour basically through all of Europe with different programs, and I'm very much looking forward to come back to actually what I a little bit call my orchestra by now.